No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm bringing you guys an interview with somebody who always does numbers on the channel. They love you out here.
Do they?
And it seems like some things are going on. You're like making moves,
I am.
switching things up. We have Jaidyn Alexis in the building.
Like that.
How you doing? I'm the only
good.
one to clap. Besides the photographer. He's got his hands full. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm doing all right.
Definitely.
Keeping it pushing.
I've been kind of surprised because it felt like you had so much motion leading up to Blueface getting locked up. And then it kind of felt like you sort of made like a conscious decision to fall back and not keep pushing with the music and stuff like that until the last couple of weeks when you announced the OnlyFans and all this kind of stuff. So
Right.
take me through that. He gets locked up, and how did things change from your perspective there?
Well, before he got locked up, we broke up. So there was that. So
okay.
that was like a month before he turned himself in. That I moved out, and it was this whole thing.
Okay. And what led to that? Because that's kind of like the height of your music doing well and everything like that.
I mean, we were engaged, and then he came in with old girl into the house, and that's when that whole live happened.
Okay.
And I just wasn't really feeling. I feel like that just like is kind of really super disrespectful. You know, you already had the baby, you already, all these girls and all that good stuff. So I'm just kind of like, it's a bit much. You know, it kind of stepping on my toes a little bit. So I just made the decision to leave.
Okay.
And we kind of went from there. It was no hard feelings. I was just like, it's not really my speed no more.
Okay. So from my perspective, you were always down for the ride. You were along for the ride.
Yeah.
But then it felt like he started to proactively work with you to blow you up career-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Did that end up giving you the confidence to not really deal with the same amount of bullshit that you were dealing with previously?
No, I mean, I feel like even when we started doing the music, it still was like happening that he was like stepping out and doing that. I just felt like if I give you 10 years, and I mean, how much more do you want me to give you? You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting any younger, neither is he. So I kind of was just like, it's not my vibe anymore. So I just was over it. And I mean, it was no hard feelings. I moved out, did my thing, he got me the house. So I was like, hey, fair exchange.
It feels like the Jaidyn Alexis who was working in the fish spot wouldn't have had the confidence to make a break for it.
No, I mean, yeah. I really wanted it to work. I did. And like after the engagement, I was like, maybe like there was like some type of switch in him, but come to find out it wasn't. So I kind of was like, there's not much more there's not anything else that he could do that is like me wanting to stay anymore.
Okay.
So I kind of I just left it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. How much of his bad behavior do you feel like is associated with him being like what is it? Is he a sex addict? Is he addicted to just running around, getting into the craziest situations with the craziest, or is it more of a clout and content thing?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that he definitely is addicted to clout for sure. I think he, loves that, attention and with money. And he's still young. I mean, I feel like men don't really get that grown man mentality until they're a little bit older.
And they say that you are the person forever that you were when you became famous.
I mean, yeah, I could see. I think he's gotten the more fame and money he got. I think that he just kept running with it.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not blaming him. It's hard to turn down. There's always ass in your face and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't blame him for doing that because it's hard to turn it down. But at what expense? I don't want it to be at my expense. Is more so what I was getting at.
Right.
But
right, because I say this. I love the guy. I think he's a great dude. But when I was watching the Hollywood Unlocked interview last night, that was a big part of what I was thinking. It was like, holy shit. I would not be able to get away with so much of this. Like there's part of me that I was just thinking like, damn, I wish my girl would just let me just do whatever and just deal with whatever. But at the same time, I did kind of feel bad watching that and seeing like things like the story about him getting some head from old girl right before the baby shower or the gender reveal.
Yeah, when I was pregnant, yeah.
And you basically had to like disinvite her whole side and everything. And like, it was the way that he brought it up, and he clearly thought that it was kind of funny, and you just like so did not think it was funny at all. You could just see the pain in your face.
Yeah, that was pretty much just like a slap in the face at that point. And I'm like, and I'm pregnant, and you wanted this baby. You know what I'm saying? We collabed on this baby, and you were happy for it.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, that kind of threw me for a loop.
Right.
Wasn't the best feeling in the world, you know.
So what we watched play out in that Hollywood Unlocked episode was partially, you know, this building up inside of you of being so frustrated that you were just
yeah. I mean,
ultimately-
obviously, who likes to be like? I feel like he, does make jokes about it, and I mean, like maybe for him, it's like now it's been so long now, but you know, who really gets over stuff like that? It's kind of like, hey, bro, it's not really funny.
Right.
You know, like, it was funny. It was fun for you because you were, getting some hit top. But like me, I just had to like leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
not really a vibe.
And it's also like, I feel like you were playing the role of what you thought that you had to do in order to hold down your newly famous rapper, baby daddy, in the sense that you weren't the girl who was saying you are forbidden from going and getting some pussy. You were more like, I'm not going to try to stop things like that I don't think I can stop, but it's a big difference when you're just like throwing it in my face.
Yeah, I think that's
it's easy to just go girl in some hotel room and not let it affect your home life for the most part.
Yeah, I think that's more so where the problem was, is that he kind of let it just be so public.
Yeah.
And it's like, I kind of, let him know there's an understanding. You're new to the fame and you're new to this. Like, I'm not, like, there's a way to do it respectfully. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to throw it in everyone's face or let everybody know or let females feel like they can disrespect me. Because obviously we all know about me. Like, he was letting it be very known I was in the house. So it was kind of like, you letting them, disrespect me. So in a way you are too.
Right.
You're already going out there and doing it. Like,
right.
Like you can't you can't meet me in the middle a little bit.
But you would be able to, you would still probably not love it. But if you found out that he had some side chick that had never came around, had never made the blogs, etc., that's one thing to deal with that.
Yeah. Right.
It's another thing when it's like,
I think a lot of people in Hollywood do that.
Right.
So I think, we don't find out about, a lot of their side people. They kind of just play their role.
Right.
And if I'm playing mine, the least you could do is play yours.
And how many conversations were you guys having in terms of like, listen, we're a social media company now, or a couple now, you're like in the media, you're doing the rapper thing. So it's like, we have to do crazy shit in order to continue to get attention publicly. Or was it just happening and occurring organically?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't, when in the beginning, I didn't care about the fame and that. I tried to steer clear of it, but once it got to a point where I couldn't, that's where I was like, I'm kind of, people looking at me crazy, instead of, so it just wasn't, I wasn't trying to do that anymore.
And even if you're hamming it up for social media and just making shit as ridiculous as possible, it's like, women have pride and women are going to have a hard time going out and being introduced to people and seeing it in their eye and knowing that they feel like you don't really have self-confidence because you're being treated poorly in the media by the guy you're with, etc. Like, I know that stuff eventually kind of built up.
Yeah,
for you.
100%. And it's like, I slept in a car with bro, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like, I can get a little I can't get a little bit of, put a little respect on my name, not just like a post on Instagram, like, and then you like go do that and then post that too. Like, it's kind of lame. So I think at a certain point I just had enough.
Right.
And I mean, a decade later, I mean, how much more time did you want me to give you,
So he gets locked up, and at that point, where are you guys at?
I'm living at my house and he's over there doing whatever. We had Barbie was just blowing up. So I was kind of like, what do we do now? And he wanted me to kind of sit in the house and just do nothing. And I kind of didn't really sit right with me because I'm like, we got 2 kids and, we have to kind of keep the momentum going. Like, why are we going to just stop? Like, and if I'm not your girl, I don't have to sit here and do nothing. Like, why are you thinking you can tell me what to do? I was so asking for advice on how to keep going, not like, should I just sit here? Or, no, it's not really was what I was trying to do.
But so he wanted you to basically just chill while he was locked up for a year or 2.
Yeah.
And at the time, you didn't really know how long it was going to be.
We knew that he had at that point he had the 7 months, so it was going to be till July. But I just felt like if people are reaching out to do bookings or reaching out to do like clothing line collabs or this or that, why would I turn that down? It's only gonna produce good content for me and keep my momentum going. Why would just to have me doing something. There's no reason for me to just sit and do nothing, and that's kind
Right.
of where we bumped heads.
Especially you being in the background for all those years, and then when he gets locked up, you're in the middle of your first like 6 months of being popping and being this person that's basically doing all the stuff that he previously had been the only person doing, which is
Right.
doing the club appearances and the sponsorships and the videos,
Yeah.
etc. You're not going to just want to give up the momentum just because he's getting locked up.
Yeah, and it just all it did was add to my brain. It wasn't like I was going to go to the strip club and dance or something crazy. Like it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, or do something crazy. Like I was, just continuing to do what we were already doing. And every time I touch the mic, I'm obviously saying free blue. I would never just be like, yeah, I did all this by myself. Like that's crazy,
Right?
And clearly not what happened. So all I was doing was just trying to keep the momentum going. I think that's kind of where we had the disconnect about that, and
Okay,
I
so
feel like it worked out in my favor now.
but was your plan at that time to continue to basically like have him guide your music career even if you weren't together romantically?
Yeah, I had no problem with that. I think that we definitely started doing something and it was working for us. So maybe maybe lo and behold, that's what we were supposed to do the whole time. I don't know. And maybe we just weren't meant to be cool friends and work together. That happens. I mean, just because we're not together doesn't mean we have to stop working if it was working.
Right.
And
And obviously you're going to be tied together through the kids and shit no
Yeah.
matter what.
that just makes double income for the kids. So what's wrong with that?
Right.
So
But okay, do you think that would have actually worked out in the long run? Because as much as I think he's a conniving businessman, or not conniving has like a negative connotation, but more like a cunning businessman.
mhm.
At the same time, I know he loves you and has feelings for you, and especially like if he feels like you're out of his control, that might not be likely to work in the long run.
I think that. Yeah, I mean, I guess we wouldn't know unless it actually happened, but I think that he does have problems with like not having control over certain aspects of things. Like he likes to have the full control. So us working together and me being like, yeah, we're not together, bro. Or like not listening to certain stuff he wants me to do might have been a problem later down the line. But I think if we would have just kept it going and, maybe had some type of understanding, because I'm like, at the end of the day, you have X, Y, and Z amount of people to go that you like to lay down with or whatever you like to do. And I don't think little old me should be, stopping that if you, at the end of the day, want to be with those people,
Right.
And maybe, maybe I was meant to be with a girl or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because
Like,
you've made that clear that you're unlikely to end up with a dude if you
Yeah.
were single.
right.
That still stands. You're still
Yeah, I'm
Not
I'm
really.
really not interested in like men like that. Maybe that's just right now or whatever, but I'm really not interested in that. I'm really in like my soft girl era with like dealing with girls and stuff like that.
Do you think that's because when it comes to men, you dealt with like arguably the most extreme toxic dude? I don't want to say toxic. That's like an
No,
oversimplification.
he's toxic.
But
100%.
the most extreme version of a man that you could really think of in a lot of ways.
I mean, maybe yes and no. I mean, but there was plenty of times that I stepped on him with girls though. So it wasn't like it was just something that I just sprung on people.
Right.
It's always kind of been like a little thing that I would do. Just never got out because I just never cared enough to like do that.
And would he get like very angry about you being with other women?
He was more so angry like if they were like studs or like more masculine type of girls, and like the girly girls, he kind of thought it was funny. It wasn't like something that he was really super bothered by,
Right.
which I still didn't get because I'm like, at the end of the day, they're all girls, but whatever.
I guess I could see it. If Young M.A. took my bitch, then I would probably feel a lot different than if, some super cutesy girly.
Ruby Rose or somebody.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Ruby Rose, whatever. I can't fight Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
But realistically, Young M.A., we can scrap. I love you, Young M.A. But realistically, it's like it's more of a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, no, I get it, but I was like, for me, at the end of the day, they're all still females. Like, so it's not like, to me, I didn't think it was the biggest deal. But I'm like, well, maybe that should tell you something and not me something, because it's like maybe I'm kind of looking for more of a masculine female, like because you're not doing what you're supposed to do, like emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I mean, I hear that a lot from women who date other women, which is basically that like the problem when you're a woman with a guy is that they're just not emotionally open enough. They don't want to talk about their feelings as much, etc. But
Yeah.
then meanwhile, with women in lesbian relationships, that's all they do.
But you
Just
know
talk
what's
about their feelings all the time.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is that I was dealing with like a more stud type of female, and the problem was I didn't want to be as emotional as she did.
Mm.
So I was kind of like, damn, am I just like really messed up in the head, or like just so traumatized that I
You've
don't
been
like
trained.
Yeah, like, and just so traumatized that I don't want to talk about my feelings, or just kind of like submerge them so that way I don't like crash out.
Right.
I don't know. But that is kind of like my issue when I deal with girls, that I'm kind of not super willing to talk about my emotions.
Right. And that
And
probably
that's
stands out a lot to them, right?
Yeah, because they're like, isn't that the whole reason like you're like being gay right now? And I'm like, no, it's actually not. Like, it's actually not actually.
Wait, if I had asked you when you were like, what age did you and Blue get together and you're like 16?
No, I was just turning 14 when I met him.
Okay. At that time, had it ever even entered your mind, like, I might be gay or bisexual?
Yeah, I had yeah, because I had already like kind of kissed girls and kind of like had a crush on girls already at that point.
Okay.
I just never like really fully acted on it as much as I did when I met him. Like, and I acted on it. I was kind of like, yeah, I need that. But
Okay.
I was just kind of getting started. But I was 14, so it wasn't like I was like a mega hoe or something. Like,
But then that all kind of got put on the shelf once you got in the relationship
yeah,
with
because
Blueface.
we were pretty like mainstream in high school. Like, I was at all his football games, and we kind of were like, oh, we were like the thing at school. So I kind of didn't care about girls at that time. But when he did go away to college, I was dealing with some like a girl, but he knew that it wasn't like it was a secret, and I'm sure that he was at college doing his thing too. So
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. And never, throughout your whole life, since you met him or whatever, there's never been a time where you just were around a guy and were attracted to him and considering it?
not really. I mean, like, obviously there's attractive men in the world. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, all guys are ugly or something. Like,
Right.
obviously there's attractive men, but I've never been like I need your number, or like I want to like act and on it, or like or like it's just never. I mean, I'm a great wing woman, but not really what I want to do. Like, I'm not trying to go home with you. Like, what the like.
But why is that so foreign to you? Like,
I don't know. I just like it's not something I would be more likely to go home with a girl than I would be to like go to some guy's house. Like, that's so strange to me.
it just doesn't sound
It's,
right.
Yeah, it's just like so weird. I would feel so awkward like sitting in the car with him. Like, what are we supposed to do now? Like,
I mean, when I think about it from your perspective, I guess as a guy who's spent their life, hollering at women or whatever, like the concept of going back to a girl's house doesn't sound that crazy to me. But the concept of going back to some random dude's house as a woman, knowing that 99% of felons and 99% of prisoners are men, and that women like almost never commit violent crimes. I mean, yeah, women much safer.
I mean, yeah, it's never been like my thing. I don't know. All my friends, I really don't really have a lot of like gay friends, like female gay friends. Like, I have like one or two, and all my other friends are straight. Or I'm like their first girl crush, and they're like, hee, it's cute, but like they still like men, and I'm just kind of like, that's so weird.
Wow.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so he gets locked up, and then how does your life proceed from there? And are you content with the idea of kind of chilling until he gets out, or are you upset about that?
We did bump heads about that because I really didn't want to sit down and do nothing. I told him even before he left, we had that discussion, and I was just like, I don't think that's the best idea. I can't promise that I'm going to do that. And
Right.
I was honest about it because I just didn't think that sounded good. And it just didn't sound like, no, it's not good for artists just to sit and be radio silent. I mean, that from just what I've observed. And he was upset about it. He's in jail. He's upset. He can't control stuff because he went from controlling a lot of aspects in people's lives to like not being able to be hands-on a lot. So he was upset about it. I, tried to keep him updated as much as I can, but it just really didn't sit right with him.
Right.
That I was going on bookings and doing photo shoots for clothing brands and whatever. So then that's kind of more so when he started to be more mainstream with the old girl. And I mean, I really wasn't mad about it because I was dealing with a female anyway. So it wasn't like I was sitting here crying about it. And that's like before he left, it was already a thing. So it's not like it took me by surprise.
Right.
So
And was that intimidating, having to do all these things in terms of putting together shoots and doing bookings, et cetera? It's like you always were just able to rely on him since he figured all that
100%.
stuff out.
100%. Yeah. So my first time performing without him, I was like literally shitting bricks.
Mm.
I was like, what is this? You know, like, how am I supposed to do that? And my friends were like, you got this. Like, how many times have you done this with him? You can do this without him.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's just foreign. It was foreign to me to try to go up there and just be like, just Jaidyn, you know? And on some free blue. It wasn't like he's about to come up here and help me or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I did it and it started getting easier and easier to do it by myself. But it's always, obviously, you know, people come to see us and it's like, it sucked when he wasn't there. I was kind of like, damn, like, I'm, you know, missing my performing buddy, you know, in a sense. So, but I, you know, got over that hump and, you know, now I know all my lyrics. I know that everyone was like, at first I didn't know my lyrics, obviously, like I was nervous, so you would forget shit. But now I do, and I was up there doing my thing, and it got easier and easier. So I think but I was also telling him, I was like, it's practice until you get out. I mean, you don't want and when he was to get out, and if we were to put on a show or get booked for something for a crazy amount of money because you'll be out and free, you would want me to suck? That's kind of weird. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I pictured it as more practice until he got out, you know?
Right. Because I remember last time when we did the interview, which was about a year ago, that was like a couple days later, I went to you guys' show, and at least at one point, he was floating the idea that he was going to have you and Chrisean on stage. And that was
downtown, yeah.
That was part of why I was like, okay, I absolutely have to go, because this is a very extreme scenario. Like, if they're actually all on stage, this is going to be nuts. I pull up, you're there with Blue, and I'm kind of asking people on his team and stuff. I'm like, you really think Chrisean's coming? And they're kind of looking at me like, nah, I don't think so, bro. It ain't going down. And that did kind of feel like, oh, okay, like he knows that this is a great idea, controversy wise and content wise, but you seemed like you were absolutely not into the idea.
Yeah, I was not into the idea. I don't even know how or why that would come into his mind. Like, yeah, let's just get up on stage together. It's not. I was definitely not having it, and it was like, and if that was the case, it just makes it awkward because it's not like it's an artist that he's never dealt with or something, and I just was being a hater or something. It's obviously someone that you deal with, and it's weird. And
that you have real anger towards.
Yeah, and it's like, why would, you know what I'm saying? And then it's that question, like, so we're both here, and like, you're leaving with who?
Yeah.
awkward as hell. So I was just kind of like, that's just not the vibe. If that was the case and you want to be so clout driven and get to the bag, you do shows with me and you do shows with her. If that's what you want to do. Because I'm not going to stop the bag if that's what you want to do, but it's going to definitely put like a hinder in our relationship. But business wise, I'll show up for my shows and you do your own thing. That's all I can do. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, go get the bag and pretty much bring it back to me. Like, what?
So at this point, are you like fully divorced from the idea of being in a romantic relationship with him? Because even when you were just calling him your performing buddy, I'm like, oh, okay, that's about as far removed from being your, future husband or whatever. That just feels like that's very separate. And I get it, because like sometimes me and my girl aren't doing that good. Like,
why is she not here?
Why is she not here? She's actually in Vancouver. She just saw Taylor Swift's final performance last night. Yeah, she went out there for that. That would have been great. She would love to be here.
I would have loved for her to be here. I have to come back and see her.
Oh yeah, we should do that for sure. But like with me and her, sometimes we'll be like not getting along super good, and then there's like a photo shoot or a podcast or whatever, and we got to show up and we got to do that shit and just act like we're
super cool.
Solid, know?
Yeah,
and it's
I understand.
And in that moment, you're kind of like, oh, so like, even if we're not feeling in love, we can actually kind of do this. But do you feel like that's kind of where you're at now, or?
Yeah, I'm definitely 100% not into the romantic relationship anymore. I'm down to work. I know that's going to be hard for him because, like, getting locked up, the real world kind of stops for you.
Right.
But,
and you start to super rely on the girl that is holding you down out in the real world.
But he has to remember, like, before he went in, you did some up shit to me, and I let, and that was it. And I told you that it's never going to happen again. Yeah. And I know he probably was like, oh, it's going to happen. Like, because every other time it's like this. But this time I was very serious. I didn't just move out and make you get me a house to for shits and giggles. Like it was, you know.
Mm.
But my world didn't stop for a year and some change. His did.
Mhm.
So I have, been able to, in a sense, like heal without him like coming over to see the kids or whatever the sense is. I got to like actually heal from what it was that he did to me. So I'm over the romantic aspect. I would like to still keep working because I think that he's so smart business wise. And even though like everyone's like, what the fuck is he doing? But like he's very smart business wise. He's like the smartest idiot you've ever met.
Yeah, why,
You know what
why
I'm
does
saying?
that always get said about? I think Wack coined that, but
Yeah,
you
probably
agree
did.
with it? Okay.
Yeah, he probably did say that, but he's like the smartest dummy like you ever seen in your life. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I can't do nothing but commend him because he's obviously put so many things in motion and so many things into play for like several people, not just me. Obviously multiple people, but romantically, I'm pretty much over it. I do want to be with a girl, and I think that he knows that. I know that his world kind of stopped, but mine has kept going. In a
So
sense.
are you guys still in communication?
Yeah,
Is he-
yeah, of
But is
course.
he still trying to?
I mean, I think that he kind of knows that I'm over it. But I mean, if he wants to see some ass, I'm not gonna be like, I mean, he's in jail. I'm not gonna be like a bitch, like, hey, see your ass, like whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be a bitch. I might, show him some ass or something.
But you say that makes me feel like, oh, when he gets out, there's a total
No, I
chance
mean,
you guys are getting back together.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be back together. I think that I don't want to be on the roster of 25 people that he keeps in rotation. Like that is just so not who I am anymore.
Is there part of you that still wants to sleep with him when he gets out?
No, because he doesn't look the same anymore.
Oh.
He doesn't look the same. That's not who I had fell in love with.
The face tattoos?
Yeah.
What about, he already had a bunch of face tattoos.
He did, but it was very more demure than it is now.
Very demure.
Yeah.
Very cutesy.
Yeah, it's not the same anymore.
Really?
Yeah, and I mean, granted, maybe when I see him, it might feel different, but that's not really the style that I was going for.
Really? Because, I mean, he did get him in prison, so they're not going to be the best quality.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm disappointed at. I was like, if that's kind of like what you wanted to do, you could have definitely went to like a tattoo artist out here and did that.
Right.
I don't think that in there was the best way to do it. And like, it's like kind of dirty.
Yeah, I mean, getting tattoos on the outside, it's like you got a million other things to do, so it doesn't feel that attractive to me. But yeah, I guess if I was locked up and there was somebody doing pretty good tattoos, I could see myself going for it, even
But
though
not on the face.
the face is crazy.
Like the back or your leg or like, I don't know. Like, how do you just trust someone to just tat your face? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
And that's what I love about him is that he just refuses to act like a successful millionaire. He's like, no, I'm getting a bunch of face tattoos in prison.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he wouldn't have done that. I wish he would have waited until like he got out if that was what he wanted to do. But I mean, he never listens to anybody, so I don't think that even if me giving him my opinion that he would have even cared. But
I was thinking about the other day is that they just don't make face tattoo guys like they used to. Back 2017, 2018, it felt like every other week there was some new cute little face tattoo kid, the Lil Xans of the world and the whoever's. And now you just don't really see that too often.
I mean, maybe he was trying to set a new trend or something. I don't know.
Right.
I didn't necessarily agree with it when I saw it, though. I mean, I wish he would have waited and maybe thought about it a little harder, but he's very impulsive, so it's not like I don't think anybody giving their opinion would have mattered to him.
Right.
So
does it bother you in particular that he got Chrisean's face tattooed or whatever?
I was more disappointed in the fact that he got my daughter's name like around the same time, and I just kind of felt like that, like she's 2 years old now. When Javon, our son, was born, like days later, we both went and got his name. So waiting 2 years to like get her name and then try to like balance it out because like you got her name is just like kind of like lame to me.
So it pisses you off the idea that he's sort of having to like compensate for getting his daughter's name tattooed by also keeping his other girl. Like you, if he is going to be dealing with other girls, you'd like it to be a situation in which he's not having to like fall in line and obey.
Yeah,
the orders.
I feel like the kids should come first. Like nobody in this world would be mad or tell me something about our kids, even if it was a man. You couldn't tell me nothing like about. If I wanted to go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go tat one of their names and then try to tat their name because they're going to get mad. Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if you... Actually, I'm going to tat it twice.
Okay.
Like, what is that? So I don't like that he tried to, like, compensate for it. But, I mean, that's their dynamic. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but that's more so what disappointed me. I was like, because like, why did you have to do it around the same time, and why is her name so small? You know what I'm saying? Like Javon's is big as hell. It's like on his forearm or whatever. So I'm just kind of like, I didn't like that, and that type of stuff does matter. You know, people do clock that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But have you visited him while he's been locked up?
When he was in the county, out here in LA, I did go see him about 4 or 5 times. But it was the fans are crazy, and
Really?
so they like book appointments or like do weird stuff, and I don't even know if they actually go to see him. But they had like, and then like I don't know if the jail started catching on and would like block his thing off, so it would be really hard to get an appointment to go see him in the county, and that was behind the glass on the phone. So it
Wow.
wasn't like a super great visit, and
You
it's 30
think-
minutes only.
You think that they would be able to control that more easily?
Yeah, I think that at first it was like the fans doing it, and then once the jail like caught on to who and what was going on, that sorry, my eyes water. That they had to like block it off, so it would be really hard to like get an appointment.
It is crazy because being in jail is probably so boring that talking to some random fan for a half
Oh,
hour
100%.
probably
Like,
sounds all right.
And I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably why he, gets caught talking to all these girls that he used to bang. And, I'm sure, I mean, knowing him, he was already doing that when he was out and had a million things to do. So I'm having like 0 things to do. I'm sure like that contributes to it. And then he went into, when he got transferred, there was like a period of time where he couldn't get any visits and he barely could use a phone. And then now that he's at Kern State, or North Kern State or whatever it's called, he just started getting into like being able to send out like visitation forms. I already, turned mine in, so I'm just kind of waiting for approval. But that kind of stuff like they take mad long to like get back to you and stuff. So as soon as I have my approval good and go, I'm gonna definitely go see him. I mean, he has 8 more months and 9 more months to do. So I mean, I'm not about to just let him sit there.
For sure. Do you think his mom's right that he'll get the tattoos removed when he gets out?
I don't think he's gonna get them removed because I just don't see him doing that. But I could see him maybe covering up what's her name's name if something was to happen. I don't think that he's gonna remove them though. That's a really like painful process, and a lot of the tattoos he has are like really dark. So
Yeah.
it's gonna take several sessions, and
You might
it's
never
still,
get rid of it.
Yeah, it's still gonna be like a faint
Yeah.
situation. So like, what you're gonna have to cover that? I don't know. He's not gonna do that.
Yeah, you have to get it blasted like a million times to really get rid of it.
Yeah, and
especially
it's
if
super
it's dark.
painful, yeah.
Yeah. I've done a bunch of those back in the day.
Mhm.
But okay, how much of this, like, when you're in a relationship with somebody and it's public, part of the drama is that each person has fans, and those fans are going to basically push you in whatever direction they think is right for you. And I can imagine from your perspective as a woman that a lot of your fans probably were urging you to not be with him in the same way. How much of that do you think like kind of permeates your brain?
I think that I obviously I mean, we all see the same stuff. I see it as y'all see it, but it never like even when he just started and like barely people were catching on to who I was because I was really trying to like stay back. I still would see stuff and I still would hear it, but it always sticks with you. But it never made an impact in the decisions that I made because I'm like, at the end of the day, it's still the internet.
Right.
People can have their opinion, but you're not living in it. You don't walk the same walk that I walk as much as you might think it. But a lot of my truer fans are kind of like, whatever you want to do, I support it. And that's kind of more so like the support that I care about.
Because like women are on average a little bit more sensitive, or like in my situation, my girl gets a lot less shit than me. So if she gets 100 DMs about something, she's going to really notice, as opposed to me where I could get a million DMs and it's just like it doesn't really hit me in the same way. I'm kind of already like divorced from really caring about what people are going to say publicly or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could just imagine that for you, if you read 100 DMs or 100 comments or whatever that are all kind of saying the same thing, that's got to be sort of tough to endure.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to hear that you like are making the wrong decision, 100 times. But it never made me choose a different choice than what I did. So I just I have to just I feel like when you come into some fame or you come into fans and you have to just stay true to who you are and then go from there. Because if you start listening to the internet and start listening to what the fans say, you will literally down spiral. Like that is like rule number one, to not listen to what the internet says. Because if you do, you're just become an internet robot at that point.
Yeah.
And then you're like a clout demon, like literally.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about the music side of things right now? Are you genuinely excited about it? Like, where are you at with that?
I've been working on a couple things. I haven't put nothing up because I'm like, without him here to like really critique me, it's a little strange because he was critiquing me so hard. And that, we were pushing that brand, and I'm just like, it's a lot different when he's not there with you. Or like if you just have to play something for him, it's just so different because he's not the ear that's there.
Right.
So I'm working on stuff. I'm a little reluctant to like put it out there, but I do want to put out more music. I do want to continue to do music. I like me going on reality TV or whatever wasn't the main goal to just become like a reality TV star, although it was an amazing experience, but I definitely want to continue to do music. And I didn't realize that, like, when I first put out my first song, I was kind of like, I'm just going to see how it goes. Like, it wasn't so, like, I have to become a star with music. Now I'm kind of like, I like what I do. Like, I like that. I like that people like to listen to me, too.
Right.
And, like, that, I can go to the grocery store, people are singing my lyrics, like, as I'm going to the car. Like, that's cool.
Right. I'm not going to lie to you. That was one of the craziest things I've ever witnessed in my whole time doing music, is that when he first announced, or when you first announced that you were going to be doing music or whatever, I didn't even really think about it that much. And then to have the songs hit hard enough that all of a sudden it's like the default TikTok sound that like girls that I know, but who I know don't know who you guys are using it as their songs on TikTok, like porn star girls and stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, like this is actually working on a level that I never would have ever predicted.
He's an evil genius.
Yeah. Well, how much of that do you give to him versus your own?
I mean,
input?
I feel like I'm the voice, and I like, I like to go in there, like how we were doing it is like I like to go in there and I like ask for his opinion and I give him the topics that I want. Obviously, he's a helping hand to me because it's like sometimes I don't know how to like put it to the beat. Obviously, I'm new. Me writing my first song is kind of like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of just going in there, but everything that I talk about is me. Like I'm like, help me word this. Like, how do I, or what would sound better, or does this sound good? And and he's like, that's what I miss about him being around is that like we were a really good duo when it came to the studio. I know that he would be on live and he'd be cussing me out and all that, but that was like the best part because it wouldn't be so good if I kept up and he was correcting me, and you know what I'm saying. So I do miss him when it comes to making music. Yes, I do.
It's interesting because, like, I remember seeing a clip of Academics saying that he basically, like, sacrificed his own rap career in order to blow up. Really, he was talking about Chrisean, but I guess, like, in a similar way, you could kind of say it about you. Do you think that's true?
No, I think that when he gets out, he's probably going to go full throttle and probably have so much more to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure. Okay, when he was here, maybe to others, like, he was kind of repetitive of talking about kind of the similar situations that he was going through and, like, because we all see it in real time. But now that he's been gone for almost a year now, and then he's probably going to do another 8 months. He has plenty to talk about now. I'm sure all the ideas that's running through his mind, just because he's not writing it down, or he has plenty to talk about now.
Because, okay, when you think about it, it's easy to make popular music if you're rapping about a bunch of gangster and street shit, and it's harder to make music if you're gonna rap about some fly shit or some get money shit or whatever. Like, at least in 2024, the fans are just more interested in hearing about a bunch of crazy street shit or whatever. Yeah,
more relatable stuff.
And when he came out, he's rapping about all this gangster ass shit, and then pretty quickly it kind of like he does Tatiana. All of a sudden he's getting motion for doing other types of music that are a little bit more cleaned up. And then I feel like he's somebody who's pretty true to himself, where most of his music doesn't really focus on a bunch of crazy violence and street shit because that's just not really where he's at in his life right now. But he's been locked in this box for a year, or it'll be almost 2 years by the time he gets out. So he's gonna be surrounded by all of this sort of shit, and I wonder how much that'll
I think that he will come out and definitely surprise a lot of people. I think that people probably will think that he's not gonna put his all into it, but I think he will. I definitely think he will, because he loves to prove people wrong in the slickest way. So I think that he will come out and do his big one. I do.
Definitely. Did it bother you, or when you saw the baby on the other side come out looking kind of Charles Barkley-ish?
What does that mean?
Well, at one point he even said that he thinks that the baby might
Adam,
be
please.
Charles Barkley's baby.
Um,
I think he was kidding.
I
But
think that I would hope that he's kidding.
Mm.
I think that it's hard for me to because it's like that baby was had on me, so it's hard for me to have some type of opinion about what's going on because I'm just like I don't wish no ill on. I really I don't wish no ill on anybody or even a baby in particular. I just I want things to work out the best that they can work out
Right.
because some stuff is just not okay. You know what I'm saying? And as a mother, I don't agree with all his decisions, like, posting certain stuff or, whatever, or saying certain stuff about a baby. I don't agree with everything he's done. No, I don't, because I'm a mother. But I do want things to get settled and taken care of.
Right.
That in the best way that they can.
Right.
I feel like that's all I can do because it's hard for me to it's hard for me to even be sympathetic because it was happened to me and on me rather than me just like being a fan that's seeing it. And obviously if you're a fan, you're kind of more like, what's going on? But me, I'm kind of like I want it to work out the best way that it can.
My whole thing is that I'm willing to accept people being drug addicts, smoking weed, drinking all the time, whatever you want to do. But when you get to the point where your desire to get fucked up is greater than your desire to have a healthy baby, that to me is probably like one of the most evil things that I could imagine a person doing, is like knowingly creating a situation in which their kid's probably going to have issues at the very least that are going to affect them for all of time. I mean, maybe I'm lucky because I've been surrounded by women who take their motherhood pretty seriously.
Yeah.
But to me, that is just like so beyond the pale of what I could ever accept for somebody. That is just so.
I mean, I agree.
And I know you're hesitant to like fully cast judgment and everything. And obviously, like, you got to just love the kid no matter what.
Yeah.
But that, like, even just seeing people make jokes about it. I mean, I guess I can't blame them for making jokes.
The jokes are, it's really out of pocket because at the end of the day, that's, that's a human being that's, it is suffering in more ways than one. And I mean, there's nothing that us outsiders can do really to help the situation. So we all just kind of have to just hope for the best. But it is hard to watch. I will say that it is hard to watch. But like I said, it's hard for me because it's like it happened on me. And it's like, my hands are tied. Like, I can't do too much. I do want there to be some type of answer. I know there's like a lot of questions about who is the dad and what's going on. I mean, I would love there to be like a solid answer because obviously at the end of the day, that will affect my kids if it is. So I would like there to be some type of solid answer.
So you're not sure if the kid is his or not still?
I mean, I think there's a lot of questions surrounding it.
Oh, okay. I kind of thought that had been settled, but I guess, yeah, you're
I
right.
know. I mean, like, I think that if, I think that Blue was questioning it, and I think that if the other person who's claiming to be the dad or whatever the f is going on, I think that if I wouldn't go so hard about a baby if I didn't think it was mine. I don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't do that.
Right.
So, and I don't think a man would do that either. Like, if somebody, if like they were like, oh, that's your baby, cool. Unless I actually thought it was, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just kind of like, I hope that there's some type of, some type of answer that comes out of that, but because it would also affect my kids. But I'm just, I like to stay clear of that because I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's all fucked up. It's all fucked up, and it's just, I don't want to be involved in something like that because even if messed up stuff was happening to me, I don't have to go out of my way to be evil or in any way and, say stupid shit or post certain shit. Like, I don't have to do that, to be happy and be blessed in my life. So, I've been blessed this whole year and I'm going to continue to be. My kids are healthy and beautiful and amazing. Like, they surprise me every day.
Definitely. How old's the boy that I just seen out there?
He's 7.
7.
Yeah,
okay.
he'll be 8 in
I
April.
seen him out the corner of my eye as I was coming in here.
Yeah, my daughter is out there too.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay. So is it true that you're dating somebody in the WNBA?
Mm-mm.
That's fake. They were saying I don't even know who this is, but Jocelyn Morris. Is there any truth to that?
She's not the WNBA, but she
Oh.
did play basketball back in the day. But you know,
So this is not a no.
it's like we were, but I feel like there are certain things that happened that I felt like that were clout driven, and I can't decipher it yet. So right now I'm single and I'm dating myself. I'm dating a bag. I'm dating, like my life right now, and I want to, make sure that I'm as happy as I can be before I try to pour into somebody else's life. But I do feel like there were certain things that were done that were clout driven.
Really?
Yeah. And I think that I'm new to the dating world, like seriously dating world, because all the other stuff that I did was kind of just like, I really was with him and I was kind of just stepping out with other girls or whatever. But when it came to her, I tried to take it as serious as I could. But
what was the clout move that she busted that rubbed you the wrong way?
I just feel like I don't like as long as she's known me, I've had a baby dad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like for you to kind of, mess with me for a year and then try to always bring him up is kind of like, and then to like make it seem like that was the reason that we're not working because I have a baby dad when I haven't even gave that I want to be with my baby dad in I don't know how long. So I kind of just feel like I don't know if it was like using me for clout or whatever, because I don't know if y'all saw, I took her to the Baddies premiere with me. I've been, on her YouTube. I've been on her TikTok live. I've done stuff like that to kind of feed into her, to pour into her. And I just like, now you want to talk about my baby dad, and I'm just kind of like,
oh shit,
I don't even want to be with him.
Right.
I just covered up the tattoo. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm single right now, dating myself, but that could maybe be a later in life. But right now, I hope she focuses on herself.
And it ended because of this clout chasing stuff?
Yeah, mostly that, and because I don't know if she thinks that something's going on, but that's females for you. So like when females are trying to talk to me about something where I'm just kind of like, there's nothing going on, I just kind of shut down. If I tell you that's what it is.
Right.
I don't want to keep talking about something that like is not going on.
Right.
And someone that's not here, that like, how can something be going on?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But
there's got to be like a lesbian code of conduct when it comes to baby daddies.
I mean, especially if you knew me before that we were messing around, we were friends, and I still had a baby daddy. And you come and, I always had, it wasn't like I just had the baby daddy.
Right.
It wasn't like I just had a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, hey.
It's very interesting, though, that like you were with this guy for so long who's kind of athletic, big, tall dude, and then you end up with somebody in the WNBA, like the closest to possessing those attributes. She never
played in the WNBA.
Oh, right. Whoops,
she just did like college basketball or whatever.
I'm sports, so I really miss out on a lot of
she
that.
did like college basketball or whatever it was. But I mean, maybe I have a type. I don't know.
Right.
But, yeah, I'm leaving that where it is, and I'm gonna focus on myself. I mean, I like girls, so if more girls are to come, that's probably what's gonna happen.
More girls to come. Are you quality over quantity or quantity first?
No, I want quality. I think I'm in the point in my life where I would like to, be in the matching PJs for Christmas and shit. But I'm also. I think when I first started dating her, I was, just fresh out of a relationship, trying to be in a relationship, so it kind of was like not balancing out. And like, okay, you might catch me doing this or that. But it was never anything to the point where it's like, I'm embarrassing you. Like, who cares about that? Like, nobody.
Right.
Especially if I'm taking you here and taking you there and posting you and doing all that. So that's where I'm saying, like, when it comes to like being with girls, I feel like I am so traumatized that sometimes I start acting like him. And that's kind of like where I hate, like, I'm mad about myself because I'm like, damn, like.
That's who you learn to be in a
so
relationship
that's why I'm kind of
from.
like, damn it, like, oh my God, why am I acting like that? But as like more recently, I was taking it more serious, and it's just like all the questions and the insecurities and whatnot, I just can't. I shut down because I'm like, how many times do I got to tell you? And if I've made permanent decisions to try to show you, I don't want to keep talking about this.
So you're more comfortable being the girl in the relationship?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like when it comes emotionally wise, I feel like
Yeah, I feel like you might present as more feminine than the average person that you're going to be with, but then at the same time, I think
Emotionally,
you kind of
I'm
want to be in control.
yeah.
Well, with other women, I feel like
Yeah.
you're more submissive to Blue, but that's different.
Yeah, and that's like a whole different category.
Yeah.
Like I can't even compare the two because they're so totally different.
And you got into that situation in high school when you were like,
yeah, and
you just don't
I'm a
even know
whole
who you
different
are.
person, and I
Yeah.
think that that's kind of where it's kind of where it all gets tricky because I'm a different person than I was a year ago.
Mm.
Like I'm a whole different person. I'm more confident in myself. I am more like standing on business. So when it comes to what I want to do and how I want to do it.
Mm.
And now that, like when someone just leaves that was in your life for 10 years and is just gone for a year, you have to kind of start making decisions, especially if you have 2 kids. Like you have to start making different decisions.
Right.
Whether he likes it or not, whether she likes it or not, whether they like it, like whoever. Like, so I've definitely fallen in love with who I've becoming, but I'm not going to settle for something that's going to keep hindering that.
It's crazy because it might not have ever happened if he didn't get locked up. Like you might have kind of stayed in that same storm.
I think that it was definitely a hamster wheel, but I don't want him to be in jail, and I would have never wished for him to go to jail.
Right.
But since he did go to jail, I have become more of who I am because of it. Like, and healing without him here was obviously a lot easier because how are you going to heal when someone comes and sees you every other 3 days? So it's not super easy to heal like that.
And he's got you on this like consistent dopamine schedule where it's like there's just always some crazy shit happening.
I mean, I have the kids, so it's like, and then it's like if you have certain people or things going on at your house, I like hell if you think my kids are going to go over there.
Right.
You're not about to be over there trying to poison my kids and some weird shit. Like, no.
Is that a real concern?
I would definitely not trust my kids over there if certain people are there. With him, sure. Absolutely. He loves those kids. Like he would do anything for those kids. But sometimes the people that he surrounds himself with, not so much.
But poisoning a kid has got to be one of the worst things that you could ever imagine anybody doing. But you're saying you wouldn't put that past Chrisean.
Correct.
Has that ever happened or anything
No,
similar
it's
to
not.
that?
I just don't. I don't trust her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust her with my kids, especially considering what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, and the hatred that spews off of her about me, like it's not something that I would feel comfortable with my kids doing.
Right. Because you don't want your kids to be spending time around this person so much that then that person starts to be able to feed narratives to them, et cetera, which you could very much imagine happening.
Yeah, and granted, you just never know what happens behind closed doors. And if I'm out somewhere or at home and like something was to happen because of that, I would end up in jail. You get what I'm saying? So it's like my kids are so precious to me and so just God sent that I would never allow anything that I felt any type of uneasy about to go down. And I know that he loves them, and but things happen when you're asleep. Things happen when you run to the store to grab some blunt. Things happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Kids mysteriously fall, or kids mysteriously whatever.
Right.
I can't have that happen.
It's crazy because like me and my girl have had hypothetical conversations before about like if we were to split up, how long is the appropriate amount of time before you can introduce your kid to the new person that you're seeing? And I just realized from talking to her that like to her it is such a gigantic thing, like just that introduction, which I guess I hadn't really thought about it that much. But I mean, yeah, like I think if you want to be respectful of the parental relationship, you have to treat that as a massive decision.
Well, yeah, that, and it's like, especially the age factor comes into play. So if you're introducing kids to somebody at a young age, you kind of are grooming them to be cool, like to look for that person.
Yeah.
If you're introducing them to a kid that's like 12 years old and you're like, oh, this is mom's new friend, different story than if they're 7 or 2. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful about shit like that. And I've definitely, like, I know all that. My mom was a single mom, and she never introduced me to anybody except like one person. And me and my sister were both old enough to understand like this is mom's dude, but things happen,
Definitely.
So, but he ended up being around for a very long time. So it was just like, you know, you have to be careful about stuff like that, and especially if there's no respect level there. And like, granted, obviously there has been shit that's happened between the three of us. That's, you know, but if there's no respect level when it comes to the kids, then I do not want you around my kids. Period.
No, definitely. I just wanted to ask, what's your relationship with Whack at this point?
Me and Wack are cool. We're always been cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I talk to him here and there. And he just he'll check in, see if we cool, or if something's going on in the media, and he's like, or I'm like, what the is going on, or whatever. But me and him are cool. I mean, I haven't seen him in a really long time. Granted, because Blue's in jail, so there really hasn't been a reason to.
I mean, I think he appreciates you providing some sort of normalcy in his life, because when Blue wants to be with some crazy girl or whatever, it's like he, as a manager, just kind of got to be along for the ride.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's like you can kind of tell that he would prefer Blueface have like a more simple way of life.
I think so too. I mean, I think that he's similar too. That he kind of, he Whack is crazy too, but I think that he prefers to have someone that's more of a stable human being. Granted, I don't know what he got going on, but
he's also 20 years older than Blueface, so he's had a
yeah.
little bit more
So I
time
think that
to realize that.
But he also appreciates a more stable relationship in his life also. But me and Whack are cool. Me and Whack have never had no problems, and he's seen me he's seen me and Blue go at it, and he will still be like, sis, fucking crazy, but we gotta chill. You know what I'm saying? We in this white neighborhood, but like me and him have never had no problems, and I think that he appreciates that, because there's like a certain respect level that has to happen. Because it's like, at the end of the day, I met him and he was his manager, and he was making so many moves for him. Like, they were working together, and it was working. And just because he's in jail, or just because they're not doing music at the moment, doesn't mean like I'm gonna be disrespectful or something like that. No, that would never be me.
No,
and
definitely.
Even if he says something that I don't necessarily agree with, doesn't mean I have to go and call him and cuss him out or something. I'll just be like, bro, what is that?
Definitely. So what was it like going on Baddies after all these years of
Baddies,
doing something that public and separate from the Blueface universe? It must have felt kind of crazy.
Let me see that. That's how I feel about that. No, let me see. But no, you know what? I really appreciate my Baddies experience. I do. I really had a good time, and I don't really have much negative to say about it. I know that people might put like a negative, connotation on it, but I had a good time. And I know I got into it, I might have got into it with somebody or whatever, but sometimes, that's what happens when you're with 20 bitches. That's the type of shit that happens. You're with 20 bitches and you speak your mind and somebody might not like it. That's all that happens. But my Baddies experience, I loved it. I had a good time, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I would do it again. And I really went there just to keep pushing the music and keep pushing my brand, and just still kind of keeping the momentum going, like I said. And I don't really have much negative to say. Like, fights happen. You get into, if you're around 20 females, I'm not around that many girls at once ever.
Right.
So like, it was definitely like a culture shock to be like around all these girls and you don't know them, because I went in not knowing anybody. Some of the new girls, I've heard of each other or whatever, but I didn't know anybody.
Was it more or less real than you thought it was going to be?
It was as real as I feel like it could have been, in considering the fact that, like, there is cameras rolling and cameras don't roll all the time. So it's like, at some point you have to be like, oh, the cameras are rolling now, like, this is what we're doing, or this is the scene that we're doing now. But then it's real reactions. Like, obviously I need to know if I'm gonna go hiking today or going to do a striptease or something. Like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know the room that I'm about to be in. But then when you get to that room, it's definitely just what it is. Like, because sometimes they might bring in someone you don't like. You might have just fought that girl, and then now you guys all have to go sit at a lunch.
Right.
Like, I need to know what we're doing. But when we get to that room, then we know what we're doing.
Right.
So I was never instructed to do anything like that I didn't want to do, or I was just told what the day was going to consist of, and you go from there.
They just set up scenarios that are likely to cause
drama.
I
mean, at the end of the day, it's filming, so it's like, it's not like we're in the house and we're 24-hour in surveillance. That's not clearly that's not what's going on. So you get told what we're doing today, and then it's up from there.
Right.
So if we're going hiking today, cool. If we're going to go to lunch today, cool. But then from there, you know what you're doing.
How long does it take to film a season?
I was gone for 40 days. 30 some or 40 days.
Wow. Was that hard?
It was really hard because I've never been away from my kids that long.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's gotta be
So,
difficult.
yeah, and I feel like it was hard for them because it was like, their dad's gone, and then I'm leaving for 30, 40 days, and it's kind of like, what is going on?
Right.
But I had my people that are close to me around them, so, and I obviously talk to them every day, so I wasn't too concerned about that. But I know that it was hard on them for me to be gone that long. But I mean, moves got to be made. So, I mean, I don't regret going, and I would go again. So,
It's gotta be a pretty good bag for you to be down to take off for that long too, huh?
I mean, yeah, my bag was very nice.
Right.
My bag was nice.
Probably more than certain other people.
Probably. I mean, probably. I would probably assume so.
Everybody's got different.
Yeah, I mean,
clout they're
I would
bringing to it.
assume that the bag was different, sure, but my bag was nice, and I'm not mad about my bag.
Right.
For 40 to make in 40 days, I'm not mad about it.
Was there any moments where you felt like going home?
Going home, no. Homesick, yes. But I knew that I was there to do a job. Some jobs take a day. Some jobs take a couple weeks. Some jobs take a month or two. Like shit. So I was prepared. I mentally prepared. I was like having to, coach myself. Like, you're here to do a job. So you have to start you have to finish what you started. And that's really mainly what I wanted to do is I didn't want to seem like I was like leaving because I was like, thought I was this or thought I was that. But I definitely miss my kids. But I'm glad that I finished it out.
Right. Definitely. So where did the decision come from to start the OnlyFans?
This agency called Rumor. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's like a lewd agency. No nudity or anything like that.
Okay.
They reached out via one of my stylists and reached out to see if I was interested. I had a meeting with them and I was like, look, I am not interested in doing anything like nude or anything like that. That's not my brand. And they're like, yeah, no, like we don't want any of that. So I was kind of like, okay, like I'm interested to see what you guys want to do. And they were completely cool with like me being hands-on to like the content that gets put out and like what's going on. And I was like, we can do a trial and see what goes on. And so far so good. I'm happy with what's going on. I'm happy with the money that I'm making. So, it's exclusive content that may or may not ever get posted on my Instagram. So if you're interested in that, if you're a fan of mine or you're a fan of seeing, stuff that I might not post on Instagram, then it's for you.
Right.
And I'm still sticking to my brand. I'm not going to like do something that's not my brand.
Right.
So.
Is this something that you had ever discussed with Blueface while he was still out?
No. He actually wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I was kind of like, bro, didn't you do OnlyFans?
He did too? Who did he do it with?
He did the Blue Girls Club.
Right, okay.
So it's kind of like, I'm like, exactly. Like if you are on there doing a show, you don't think that I could go on there and do like content that doesn't mean that I'm like on there like, doing some weird shit like that's out of my realm. Like, some people that works for them.
Right.
But like that wasn't the brand that I was going for. And I don't know if he just like thought I was just going to be on there being a whole star or something, which is cool if that's what you do. But he knows that I wouldn't do that.
Right.
And that's kind of what bothered me is like, why are you upset? Because like, first of all, you did OnlyFans and it wasn't necessarily.
Well, he probably wants to keep you in a certain place and then keep, the 12 crazy chicks that he has on there in a separate place.
Yeah. But if he was to see what the content was, he would be like, oh, okay, cool. I don't think he would be mad about it at all.
So have you had conversations about it since you started?
Yeah, and we only really talked about it once. And then he called me when I was at a photo shoot for something content-wise that I was doing. And I don't know if he thought that I was like going to be like a whole, like it was like going to be a whole setup or something, but it wasn't. It was just like literally taking pictures and I did like 4 or 5 looks and it's not stuff that's on my Instagram. So that's something that people can look forward to. Like if you go tune in, you see behind the scenes, you see content that's not on my Instagram and it might not ever go to my Instagram. So you look up if you do that. So I think that he thought it was going to be something else or like thought I was just like going way off tangent, but that's not what it was.
Definitely. Okay, so the first thing you ever posted was basically you talking about how you covered up the tattoo of his name.
Yeah.
What made you want that to be? I feel like it's hard to not take the OnlyFans as a sort of specific anti-Blueface statement if the first thing that you're doing is talking about how you covered up the tattoo.
I mean, really, I did that because I felt like, the whole like, oh, girl got chased down in Subway. I don't know if we all saw that, but she got chased down the subway because somebody else thought they was the dad or whatever was going on, and then she proceeded to post the face tattoo because nobody knew about that.
Mm-hmm.
We knew about all the other face tattoos, but we didn't know necessarily that was there. So I'm like, I'm gonna turn these lemons into lemonade, like, cause y'all think y'all like clowning or something. Like she was really doing that to try to hurt, like prove a point, and because like he was mad about that situation, and that's why he was doing the most and following all these girls and da da da. And so she wanted to like retaliate and try to prove a point. So I was like, I'm over here at this photo shoot, like, post that now. Run with it, because it's like I'm someone that will always turn the lemons into lemonade. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but like if I see something happening and it's like I can see a way to turn it into a bag, I'm gonna do it. Why else would I? You know what I'm saying? So, but the tattoo has been covered.
Right.
It's been covered for a minute now, and that was just because I'm over it. Like you can't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley. So I'm like, why am I gonna keep having this tattoo on me and it's not what's going on anymore?
Right. But it might strike people as odd because you don't really want him to be entirely out of your life. And I think to a lot of people, when you have a lot of tattoos, it's not like each tattoo is like who you are currently with. It's more like chapters out of your life. But did you feel like you had to do that in order to kind of turn the page?
I do, because I was like, you know, it was on my ass. It was a full government first and last name on my ass. So it's kind of just not the most appealing to somebody that's like, you know, that you know what I'm saying? Like,
feels like you're fucking somebody else's property.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got a whole bumper sticker on it, and it's like it feels like you're renting the car or something.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really what I was trying to do. Why y'all laughing? Like, I'm just saying, like, it wasn't what, like, it just wasn't giving the vibe anymore.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna cover this shit up because it's not. I truly don't want to be with him, and I'm moving, and I'm moving in life, and I'm literally moving. I just moved into a new house, and I was like, you know what? It's time to move on, and I don't know, and like maybe he'll get that at that point. And it's all love on this side, but not like that. So do your thing, and then but it's been covered. I was not gonna post it for real because it's like, what am I gonna do? Post a picture of my ass? But I was like, when I saw that all happening, and it was like. And it really was because it's like I'm getting posted in as well. They're, you know what I'm saying? They're like, I wonder how Jaidyn Alexis feels. Why? You know what I'm saying? But if my name is getting brought up, then why not? You know what I'm saying? Why not turn the lemons into lemonade?
If you were in another relationship, would you get their name tattooed? Or is that
probably not?
No.
Probably not the best idea. Don't recommend. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't recommend. Like, yeah, don't recommend.
Yeah, I know. I feel kind of like a weak ass lover. I've been with my girl for 10 years. We both don't have tattoos of each other.
You know, they say it's bad luck though.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah, they say it's bad luck, and I probably wouldn't. So.
Early on in the relationship, she suggested it, and I was like, nah, we don't got to do all that.
Yeah.
When I think about it now, I'm like...
They say it's bad luck, so I probably wouldn't suggest it.
The moment.
As a friend, I probably would not tell you to do that.
But what if you just want to, like, control her mentally?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the
wouldn't
point,
want to do that either. So,
but that's like the point of doing it, right?
Like,
is like to really
no, I mean, like, it's like it's
make it hard for her to leave. You see these girls on Soft White Underbelly who have like mad pimps' names tattooed on their face, and they keep having to get it covered.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
But those dudes are like making them do that shit.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're a pimp at that point, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, you know, and especially since I did it on my ass and it was first and last name, like in blue, like it was no getting around that.
Yeah.
So I had to cover that up.
I haven't seen it. What did you cover it up with?
I covered it up with a flower. I'm like, I already have like a dragon situation going on, so I'm just trying to like connect it all and make it like a Japanese situation.
Okay.
So, yeah, shout out to my tat artist. So.
Do you plan on having any involvement at King of Crabs?
Well, I mean, of course I'll go eat there. I mean,
Blueface's new
restaurant.
seafood restaurant,
Go check it
King
out.
of Crabs. Yes, this is a Crip rapper who started a business called King of Crabs. It's pretty unprecedented. It's really never happened before.
I mean, he does things. This doesn't surprise me. But you know, we used to eat at King of Crabs in, I think it's North Hollywood or somewhere in the Valley area.
Oh, there's another location. Okay,
yeah, there's several, and it was next to his like boxing thing.
Okay.
So we would always go eat there. So after he would do like his like trainings or whatever, we'd go eat there. That's our favorite spot. And I don't know, somehow he ended up talking to the owner and was like, like, I want to open a franchise. So then it just kind of ended up, with the whole, because me and his mom quit at separate times, but we quit because it just wasn't, the treatment was crazy.
The treatment by him? Or?
Yeah, the treatment by him. I feel like he definitely didn't understand the work that was going into there. So,
It's got to be pretty rough being at that point in your life, and you're like, it's got to be a lot of bad smells, crazy customers.
I mean, at that point in time when I was working at the restaurant as the cashier, that was not the job that I was ever gonna apply for at that time.
Right.
Like, what the like, I could have just been at home, but I was doing what I thought I should have done at that point as a woman. Like, if I'm your bitch, then that's what I was gonna do. But yeah, I just, at that time, me and his mom weren't like on the, like, it was a lot to like live with someone and work with someone, and then like he was just coming and going as he pleased, and then like we're at work, and like you're out, getting some head somewhere. Like, yeah, no, that wasn't gonna work.
Yeah, not a lot of females who are gonna really.
Yeah, like, that's crazy. Like,
in the long run, yeah, that's gonna be tough.
What the fuck? Like, yeah. So I just found out I was pregnant, so I was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of giving like I don't need to be here anymore. Like, and then me and him had got into it, and we broke up, and then when Carlissa got into the altercation with her, then that's when she quit, and then like most of the staff quit, and then that's why it kind of like downward spiraled.
So you think it would have lasted if it wasn't for that?
Yeah.
And do you think it was actually profitable enough that it was worth him having it consistently going like that, or?
Yeah, it was open for some months, so we were getting it started. A business that you start at first it's like it's a work in progress. But that's why me and her were putting in the work to work there, because it's a work in progress when you first start a business.
Yeah.
You can't just automatically think the first month you're going to make $1 million.
And obviously, your goal is to have employees who are handling most parts of it. But
yeah, we did have a staff, but it was like some days it made more sense for us to just work there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't mad about it. I was in there just, around. It was summer vacation. It was cool. Like, whatever. Like, it wasn't like it was the biggest deal. Being cashier isn't the hardest job in the world.
But there's like one screenshot that I always have seen go viral, or went viral back then, that was just like you working at the register looking hella stressed out, and it
did get stressful because it was summer vacation, so there was lines out the door, and it's Blues restaurant, so they want to come and see what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that we did the best that we could, but at a certain point there has to be some type of level of respect. And I don't think that's what it was missing.
Right.
So
yeah, because like he has part of the puzzle in his brain, which is the ability to bring people in and get them to believe in his dreams and get them to work on his behalf and stuff. But part of that, if you want it to work in the long run, is that you also have to be willing to accommodate the emotions of these people if you want them to continue to want to
100%
work for
and that's
you
what he
in
lacks.
the long run. Yeah. But it feels like he can get people into position, but then he doesn't do enough to coddle them.
Why am I newly pregnant working at the cash register and you're not coming home for 2 days? That's weird. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to go home and be with your mom. I just worked all day with her. So it's like, oh my God, let's pick one.
Where are you at with his mom right now?
Me and his mom, we're fine. We're cool. She just came and saw my new house.
Okay.
I think I love her I think that we've learned to love each other like at a distance, but like she definitely does help me with the kids, and I would never knock her for that. All the cousins get to hang out with each other, and I'm not on the best of terms with his sister, and I don't know if I want to be. So I'm glad that she can, bring her kids, and because her son, the sister's son, and my son are like this.
Really?
And they're only like 9 months apart. So that is awesome to me. I didn't grow up with a lot of families, so having cousins and stuff like that, that's really awesome to me.
Yeah.
So she does that, and she is crazy. She does go online. I see her today, and then tomorrow she's on live saying some crazy shit. But I have just learned to love her from a distance. Like, I don't even care what she's saying on the internet. And if she helps me with the kids, my mom's doesn't live out here anymore. So it's not like I have an extreme amount of help.
Yeah.
So, and she does a good job at helping me. So that's all I can ask for.
Do you, your new song is Mamiana.
Yeah. Mm.
Where did the inspiration from that come from? Obviously, Tatiana is what it brings to
Yeah,
mind.
so we did that before he left, and it was because kind of how like Barbie was kind of like a spin-off of another song. So then we were like, why don't we do it to Tatiana?
Mm,
Because then it's like you don't really have to ask for anyone's permission because he's right here. You
mm,
know what I'm saying? And we had the producer for that come through, like speed it up a little bit, and we did it. And that's kind of what it was. And it was just kind of like, this is what I want to talk about. Let's do it.
mm,
So that's all it was. And then we had it done before he left, but it was kind of just in the vault because he thought he was getting out in July. And then so when he didn't, that's kind of where that came from.
mm.
And so I was kind of like, yo, bro, we kind of need to do something because it's not making any sense.
Mm. And so is your plan long term to drop music on his channel consistently, or are you thinking about starting your own channel at some point?
I feel like, well, I think that we should start a MILF Music channel. That
Mm.
would probably be the best idea to do. But, you know, MILF Music is kind of our collaboration. It is in my name and all that, but I don't feel right like just being like, hey, you, I'm MILF Music without you.
Okay.
That's weird. And I would never do that to him. So I think that if we started a MILF Music channel, it would be awesome. But since he already had the gas behind his channel, it kind of just made more sense.
Right.
It's hard to just start something up and do something new, and he's not here when he's a part of it also.
Mm.
So I think that when he gets out, I think would be the best if we started a new channel with MILF Music and went hard about it. But the new music that I'm putting out and I'm working on, I'm gonna ask him his thoughts about it and see what he wants to do. And if he doesn't want any part of it because it's like he's not here to, you know, be a part of it, then yeah, I would start a new channel.
Did it ever get through to you? Because I feel very fake saying this, but at one point I had written out kind of like a proposal that, and this is like kind of early on with the whole MILF Music thing, but this is after he got locked up, where I was like, I think Lena and Jaidyn should do some kind of like social
I
media
love her.
collaborative
I'm so
stuff.
sad she's not here.
I was trying to set up
Lena,
like
call
photo
me.
shoot. Yeah, definitely. I love it. But I was trying to set up like some photo shoots type stuff. Some like, oh, let's get them to go to the club together and we can get paparazzi to take photos of them together.
I would love to hang out.
I gave this proposal to Wack and he told me that he would get it to you and your team, and I never heard anything back.
Oh, no shade to Wack, but I never got it.
Yeah, no, I feel like I sometimes give Wack ideas and then he just forgets about them instantly.
Yeah, no, I never got that. But
And I hate letting them behind the curtain right there to see me thinking up that kind of thing. It's supposed to look organic. I'm kind of giving it away right now.
Well, no, I mean, but me and Lena have always, like, since I met her, I was really like, I really thought she was like the cutest thing. Like, I think that she's so cute and I love her so much. Like,
She really likes you a lot too. And I feel like, the mom thing. Like,
Yes,
let's normalize being hot young moms.
100%, 100%. There's not that many of us out here.
Yeah.
Some of them do not be hot.
Mm.
No shade, but they do not be hot.
But
or
it's
they,
tough to manage.
Yeah, and
once you
it
cranked a
really
couple
is,
out.
and it's hard to keep up with content, and it really is because I've been trying to get into my content back. It's very hard.
Mm.
Sometimes I do not be looking hot in my content, but I'm like, they like that mom shit,
Mm.
so because it's relatable. You got to do stuff, and like my fans love the more relatable in real life time.
Mm.
They want to see that real life time, what's happening now. So if I'm moving, I'm posting that. I might not look the hottest, but hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But they want to see that. So I love that they want to see that. But yeah, I wish she was here. You tell her to come now.
We could definitely set something up for sure. Because
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing an episode with her and Wack and Wax Girl. R&B.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You should have me come in like, hey, y'all.
Oh, wow. That would be
Interesting to
insane.
see you guys here.
Ooh, the fifth wheel. Yeah.
No, I think that would be funny because I don't think I've ever met.
She's great. R&B.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met her.
I mean, we're talking tattoos. She got the massive Wack
Yeah, I don't-
tattoo on her back.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've met her then.
You could never give her back shots without thinking about him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be giving her back shots. So.
A lot of times when I'm f***ing a girl, I think about Wack anyway. No tattoo.
Really?
Yeah, he's just kind of always there in my brain.
Ah, sucks.
Yeah, maybe I'm gay. I don't know.
Damn.
Take that, Clubhouse. Okay. I guess. Oh yeah. Okay. I honestly can't remember who, but at one point there was a girl who told us that you were in a throuple with them and Blueface at some point, and that they lived with you. Is this somebody being optimistic or
It depends on their name. There was
projecting?
one girl, but I don't think she's ever been here.
I honestly just can't remember who it was, but I remember somebody telling me that.
We did do that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did do that, but it was mad long ago. Like, I'm talking like 2019, 2020.
Do you think that you could handle that kind of relationship? Because I could kind of, if it was the right guy and the right girl, I could imagine you getting what you need emotionally and sexually from
I think that it only didn't work because he was already messing with her. If that's the honest truth. I feel like because I like girls and I don't mind like sometimes me and her going on a date and then like we all go on a date or whatever. Like that's cool, like whatever. But I think that it didn't work because like they were already messing around. Like basically he was cheating on me with her and then it just like was like, oh, we already know about each other, like whatever.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't work.
That's a weird start.
In my opinion, I think that if I was like, I think she's really cute, like, should we do this? I think that would have been better.
Right.
Like if I had the interest in her, because like, but I think that's why it didn't work out. Well, and she also called him a trick on life, so I feel like it was just all like, what's going on?
Yeah, that'll do it.
You know, like, why would you say that?
How do you feel about the current state of female rap? Because it's kind of like, feels like now it's more lit than ever. Like it's just kind of really.
I'm honestly so proud of all the girls. I'm so proud. I've seen, I know that Mariah the Scientist was doing her thing while Young Thug was gone. I think that's really dope. Now that he's out, I hope she still continues to push that. I hope they do like a collab and like go on tour together. I think that would be so fire. And then Lotto is doing her shit right now, and I think that's dope. And her
it's
shows,
like the year of Sexy Red, or really last year too.
Her show and Lotto shows be so fire. Like I'd be like, oh my god, she looks so good. Like I'd be loving it. And then even Sexy Red, like she's doing her thing. She's been doing her thing for like the last year or two. But I'm super proud of all the girls. I think that it's awesome that now, like in nowadays, because like back in the day, like it was a men's game, and now that it's like kind of women dominated, I love it. I love it.
It was like, oh yeah. This is who it was. It was this clout chaser. I forget her name. What's her name? Bonnie Lachey. That's who you guys were in the throuple with, right?
No.
She, I think, told us that. Somebody.
Is she?
She's the one who said that, right?
With me?
I think so, right?
No, she was in a throuple with her and what's her name? And him.
Maybe that's what she was talking about.
I have never touched that girl, and I would never touch that girl.
Okay. She's always hollering about
something's wrong with her.
There is?
I think so. Like clinically, like clinically wrong. Like I'm so serious. Like it's actually not funny. Like I think something's clinically wrong with her.
Oh, okay.
Like what? She also, you know what that weird bitch said? She said that she came to one of my San Diego hostings and said that she took the mic from me and everything. And I said, bitch, we never saw you. I performed and everything. The security walked us in and out. We performed. We never saw her.
Wow.
And she took a video, and mind you, she was like in a slick bun and some black clothes. We would have never known it was her.
I'd be a ninja.
Yeah, like I don't know, but I've never touched her, and I would never touch her.
Oh, okay.
Something's wrong with her.
So the girl that you guys were in the throuple with is not somebody that we would know necessarily?
Literally, no.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm like, she came on here? Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, that's why I was so confused.
I didn't do the interview. It was a Sharp interview from a while back.
I
think. I don't know. Kind of confusing now.
Well, I can see that.
You a Sharp fan?
I don't know if I've ever met him. Maybe once or twice, but I don't think he's ever interviewed us.
No.
I think only you have.
Yeah, but he did one with Chrisean and Blueface where she got carried out by security.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Pretty historic, yeah.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, she kicked the TV.
Is he still here or something?
No.
Oh.
Some shit happened.
Yeah. That seems about right, too. That seems about right, too.
Yeah, he's sweating in his apartment on stream, probably right now.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. How did you, what was your opinion on Blueface when he dissed Soulja Boy and NLE Choppa on the Barbie remix? Did that feel like he was kind of dragging you into his turmoil?
That's a good question.
Did he use that platform in a way that you weren't 100%
I think he dissed a couple people.
Yeah.
You know what? The whole Soulja Boy and Blue thing, I don't know. I didn't really understand what was going on the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of was like, whatever.
Soulja Boy is one of the easiest people to beef with. Almost everybody
granted, because he like stays on, Instagram and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I don't understand the beef. So I kind of just stayed out of it.
Okay.
I think that, you know, a song to do it to be, I mean, it didn't do nothing for me except boost my song.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have nothing to do with the drama.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've never met Soulja. I don't know anything about that. So, hey, if he wanted to use it as a chance to, like, take a dig, it's not... Don't shoot the messenger, okay? I'm sorry to everybody, but I don't know what's going on. like what? Like, I don't know.
Definitely. So, okay, where do you feel like you're at in terms of like what you want to accomplish over the next few months or years? Are you like full steam ahead with the OnlyFans and the music and everything? Like, is your team that you have who are helping with OnlyFans, are they helping with everything? Are you?
So I feel like I have like designated people for certain things, and I just my OnlyFans, I really just want to keep pushing like exclusive stuff. And if that's what it is, and it's like we're pushing stuff that's not going on my Instagram, let's do that. Because this agency, you know, it's not a nudity type of thing, but it is going to be stuff that you're not going to see on my Instagram, 100%. Like 1,000%, there's going to be stuff on there that you're not going to see, and I'm all for it. But OnlyFans is like it's for now. Like we're gonna see the longevity of it. If it continues to be what it is, then I'll keep at it. But as far as like music, I'm working on some stuff. I'm still kind of like reluctant because it's like I don't have that ear with me when I'm in the studio, and when he calls, it's kind of like randomly at times. But I do miss his ear, so it's hard for me to want to push it, and he's not here.
I respect his ear, and obviously he's got something special about his ability to recognize talent and stuff, but there's a lot of writers out there.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, I guess unless he told me that he didn't want to be an ear for me, then I probably wouldn't go with somebody else to listen for me. Like, I would want his opinion. I do want his opinion, and it's like, if I'm, you know, putting my all into it, I want his opinion. I don't want to just go to some random person and be like, hey, is this cool?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I especially don't want to step on his toes because it's like he paved that path for me to like do music and stuff. I was like, I'm not stupid to that, you know. So I want him to feel like that I'm still wanting his ear on it. But I'm gonna keep working at it, and if it's like he's cool with it or he doesn't want to work with me anymore or something like that, then we'll work from there. But I do have a couple things in my vault that I'm kind of like am itching to post. So I do want to do that.
Definitely. Well, I'm excited to see where it goes from here, and I think you're gonna take over. I would love to see you just continue to dominate to the point where like musically they're forced to put you in the category with all the other girls who are doing their thing. I could see it.
Can you?
Okay. Kind of, yeah. I mean, I feel like you've made great strides, even though you've only put out a handful of records.
Yeah, MTV posted me the other day, and I was kind of like, "Hey, what?" Yeah, they posted me as upcoming artist,
right?
And I was like, "What the?"
The weird thing about it, though, is that it feels like in this world of Zeus and you know, Shade Room and all this type of audience, these are a lot of, you know, black women who basically want to see the male be painted as the villain.
Well, you know, I'm mixed,
like,
right?
But I know, but I feel like that's part of the problem is that you don't want to be the victim. You're not.
No, I'm
like,
not the victim.
Like, yeah,
that would piss me off.
But that's like the attitude of a lot of these chicks who exist in this world is that they want like a big bad man, and then they want the girl who can escape from him and be successful. But you're not willing to give in to that bullshit narrative.
No,
right?
I mean, because it's not that. It's not that. Like, it's not like he's holding me at gunpoint being crazy. Like, absolutely not. Like, it's never that. Like, I think that it had to take a little bit of time for me to like heal a little bit, and at the expense of like he was gone, and that's the fucked up part. And I wish that was not the case because my kids miss him a lot. So I wish that was not the case. But Mama had to heal. So I'm glad that now that I feel like I can stand on my 10 toes now. I feel like what I want to do is I'm proud to say it, and I can stand on it. Like, so.
We love the growth.
Thank you.
Jaidyn Alexis, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody go turn all her music up, Instagram,
my
etc.
OnlyFans.
And the OnlyFans, of course. No Jumper, coolest podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. We out.